Alexee Trevizo was like any other ordinary 19-year-old girl, attending school, on the cheerleading team, with a boyfriend and friends, and living with her mother, stepfather, and sister in New Mexico. However, life would take a sudden turn on January 26th. At around 11 p.m. that night, Alexee is overcome with lower back pain, which her mother puts down to her having back issues most of her life, so she isn't too concerned, putting it down to her having been abused and punched in the tummy while pregnant and causing Alexee lifelong issues. They decide it is best to go to the hospital to get some pain relief and check Alexee is okay anyway, and speak to the doctors. They ask if she is pregnant. Her mother and Alexee are quick to dismiss this.
Her main complaint was for back pain. She was brought in by her mother. We were told that she began having back pain after coming home from cheerleading practice. Sounds like she had gone to bed and then woken her mother up. And so her mother brought her in, and when I initially evaluated her, she really wouldn't sit still. She wouldn't really let me examine her. She had on a very baggy sweatshirt. And, a 19-year-old with back pain, the vast majority of the time, that's not going to be anything serious. But she was just not really acting right, and so I became concerned that there was something else going on, potentially a kidney stone or something like that. I asked the patient and her mother if she could be pregnant. Her mother said no, under no circumstances. I've been buying pads for her every month. And so I ordered our normal evaluation, which would be some basic labs, including a pregnancy test, as well as a CAT scan of the abdomen and pelvis to make sure she didn't have a kidney stone or something like that. The pregnancy test came back positive an hour late, maybe 45 minutes later. I can't tell you exactly how much time had elapsed when I became aware that her test was positive. So at that point, we sent it for a blood confirmatory test, which is what we call a quantitative HCG, which tells us, it gives us a number instead of just a positive or negative for pregnancy test. It gives us a number. And the reason why that number was really significant was because one of the concerns that you would always have in a young woman who is having back or abdominal pain could be a tubal pregnancy. And so oftentimes we need to correlate the level, the pregnancy hormone level, to determine if it's likely that there could be a tubal pregnancy. There's no obstetrics or gynecology at RTG General, and so it would require transferring her. I also verified at that time that we didn't really have the right kind. The ER has an ultrasound machine, but it didn't have the right probe on there. It had what we call the vascular probe, not the endovaginal or the abdominal one, which would be the ways we would look to see if there was a tubal pregnancy or a viable pregnancy. So I was going to have to call the ultrasound tech in. And so it was taking the lab a little bit longer than I would have thought to give us the actual quantitative HCG level. And so at that point, I started getting very nervous because I figured, well, maybe it's a really high number, maybe they had to dilute it down. And I wanted to check on the patient, and I asked the nurse where the patient was, and he said, well, she's in the bathroom.
Alexee has indeed taken herself off to the bathroom. She's in there for 17 minutes. Her mother and staff take it in turns to ask her to open the door, and she refuses to do so. During this time, results are back, and staff are aware of the pregnancy, and concern is now starting to grow. Chris Sanchez, the triage nurse, is able to hear her flushing the toilet several times. Staff eventually warn Alexee they are getting the key and will be opening the door. This prompts her to finally open it, and she heads back to her room.
Just as we were getting ready to open the door, she opened it, and all I saw was like blood everywhere, like on the walls, on the toilet. It just looked like a horror film.
After that, her and the patient went back to the room. The physician and a female nurse went in to do the vaginal exam just to make sure everything was good there. I believe, I wasn't in the room, but I believe that's when the doctor said, hey, your test came back positive for pregnancy. She adamantly denied it up to that point, even with me the entire time. She said she was a virgin. She's had her period every month consistently. So the doc was doing that.
And you said that, and she told you that when you were triaging?
She told me that in triage,
Okay.
yeah, that she was a virgin and that she had her last pregnancy was just prior on that month and had.
You mean period? Because
Yeah,
you said pregnancy.
I'm sorry, yeah. Her period, she had them consistently every month.
Upon leaving the bathroom, staff noticed a bloody state of the room, requesting a cleaner. The situation took a devastating turn when a hospital worker, called to clean up the mess, noticed a bloody garbage bag that seemed out of place. A nurse examined the trash and found the lifeless body of a newborn boy. The shocking discovery prompted an immediate response from the hospital staff, who confirmed that the infant was no longer breathing.
Footprints in the hall, 2 water fountains?
Yeah.
Okay. And what else happened?
Okay, then I went in there and then I started cleaning. I started, first thing I did was I started mopping because we can't be walking around on that blood.
Okay.
So I started mopping and then I started, after that I started wiping everything down. Then I went to the toilet, and I cleaned the toilet and then I got everything, I had to do everything like twice because it was, bad. I wiped down the walls and everything. And after I did all that, I usually throw my trash first, but for some reason that night I had to clean the floor up and everything else. And when I went to go through the trash, I felt that when I picked up the trash and I looked in it, there was trash in it, but I knew that didn't feel like when I picked it up it was some weight, so I thought it was the trash bags, because we put the trash bags on the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
And so I started getting the trash out, and then when I did that, I seen that there was a baby in there. And that's when I freaked out and I called Lori and HT, or the nurses up front.
I didn't have much contact with her until she exited the restroom. I didn't take care of her before that, but
So the
after
patient.
that, I took care of her. Yeah.
Okay. Can you tell us what happened?
So she came out of the restroom.
Mm-hmm.
There was a little trail of blood from the bathroom back to her room. We went to her room. I went to get her undressed. The doctor came in, explained to her that she had a miscarriage. Her and her mom had a back and forth about it.
The doctor said she had a miscarriage?
Yeah.
Okay.
She said it seems essentially like, I'm not sure the exact words, so it was a few months ago, but she said, it seems that you've suffered from a miscarriage, which didn't seem totally abnormal. I've seen awful miscarriages before that are very bloody.
Right.
And so.
Was she bloody?
Mm-hmm.
Like
And then
her legs? And
yeah, she had blood all down her legs, and then there was like blood in the bathroom everywhere, so.
Okay, and you saw that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And then got her in the bed, got her in a gown, helped her clean up. Doc came in, we did the pelvic, essentially, and then HT had come in and took the doctor away, and then I helped her get back in the bed, get her comfortable. I went to go get her blankets, and that's where the baby itself was, in that room where the blankets are. So then I went back in there and essentially just took care of her tried to as a postpartum patient from then on.
Right.
Police were alerted, and they arrived quickly to assess the situation.
She was having back pain, so we started working her up. We did a pregnancy test on her, showed positive. She was denying that she had sex. Then she said she had to go to the bathroom. She went to the bathroom. She was in there for quite a while. We kept knocking on the door. Finally, we got her to open the door, and there was blood and shit everywhere. She was cleaning it up. Okay. So we took her back to the room, and I was afraid that she knew she was pregnant. She had done something to herself. Mm-hmm. So the doctor started doing a vaginal exam on her. We had the lady come to clean the bathroom. She put the baby in the trash can, and then she put another clean liner over the top of it. Okay. So when they looked in there, there was no trash in there, but it was underneath the clean bag. The baby's dead. Okay, we have him in trauma too, but she killed the kid.
Yeah. How old was the baby?
I don't know. It's full term. She just had it. She had it in the bathroom. Was what happened, and then whatever she did, I don't know. She's gonna lie. She wouldn't even tell us she's pregnant. She's been lying the whole time.
Okay.
So that's what's going on. I just pulled the doctor out of the room, so nothing's been said to the patient or the mother that's in there yet.
Okay.
I have Leela, the housekeeper, if you want to interview her.
Yeah,
She's the one that kind of found under
Yeah,
the
because I
trash.
wanted to get with you guys first and then get with her
Right.
to get her statement before I even did anything.
Well, I'm the charge, and this is what has happened.
Okay.
You can interview the nurse that had her,
Okay.
the two nurses that were taking care of her. you can talk to the tech, which is Lori. She's the one that went in there and actually found it, because Lilo's like, this is really heavy.
Okay.
So then Lori went in there, and then of course the baby was underneath the clean liner.
Okay, yeah, if we can speak with Lori, that
Okay,
way get
I'll
her
get
statement, then
Lori.
I'll.
The officer takes statements from all involved, and it's becoming clear that this is no ordinary case. One staff member being infuriated that he had no chance to save the baby due to how she handled things, believing he could have. Officers speak with the boyfriend, who doesn't seem all that shocked with what has just happened.
I honestly didn't know she was pregnant. I didn't know. I just thought, like she said, I have back pain more, my hips are hurting me. I think I need to go to the chiropractor. I said, okay, let's go tomorrow. But she was like in really a lot of pain, and you know.
When did it start?
Like the pain?
Yes.
Yesterday she said it was really bad, that her hips were hurting and her back. And then last night we're on the phone together and she said her hips were hurting bad. And I asked her if anything else was hurting, and she said just everything. And she went to sleep.
But she's a cheerleader too, so she's big in cheers. They have cheer competition. She works out. I mean.
And she's been active this whole
yeah,
time?
she's been active this whole time.
And who does she live with?
With me.
So
With
she's,
parents. Oh, that's,
Oh.
yeah, 'cause she's in school. She's a senior. So,
and how long have y'all been together?
Almost 2 years.
2 years? Okay. So I'm not trying to be rude, but you are more than likely would be the father? Okay.
yes.
It's,
No, we get it. We get
sometimes
it.
it happens. So with everything that comes with that, gets a little shaky when it's newborn, stuff like that. But with like death certificates, stuff like that, Turpinning and Sons, if you choose to use them, we'll be the ones to help you get those. Other than that, because that's all really you'd need, and they can help you with the afterlife care, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Do y'all have any questions for me right now? Okay. You have my number. You can, that is my work phone if you want to text me
Okay.
or call me. I have my email on there as well, okay? Sergeant and I got your information right?
Yes.
Okay.
Officers go along with staff to let Alexee and her mother know they have found the baby in the bathroom.
We discovered a dead baby in the bathroom.
Oh my gosh.
I'm sorry. He came out at me and I didn't know what to do.
Lexi, I told you about this. I just asked you, baby, to tell me the truth.
Scared.
It is months later, on May 10th, that Alexee is arrested on charges of murder of her newborn child and tampering with evidence.
Alexee. Yeah, I think they went out of town.
Hey, what's going on? What are we doing? I will bring her out. Just tell me what's going on.
For her arrest.
Okay.
I will give it to her whenever
Can I
she
see her?
can see the warrant when she gets arrested.
This is my house. I
Right.
have a right to see the warrant.
I'm letting you know she has a warrant for her arrest. We don't have a search warrant for your house. We have a warrant for her arrest.
Okay, can we see the warrant?
Yeah, once we get
She gets a copy of it.
Can I go up there when you take her up there?
You can go to the detention. You know where it is.
Everything?
If
Okay,
Lori-
so what is she under arrest for?
she's over 18. She's got to talk.
I understand that,
Right.
Detective Gonzalez.
Right.
What is she under arrest for?
She has a warrant for arrest. Okay.
For what?
That's all I'm going to tell you. Okay.
What do you mean that's all you're going to tell me?
she's over the age of 18.
I understand that, but I have a right to know as well.
We'll tell you that, but we
Okay,
we
then
need
let
the
me know
cooperation.
now.
We need the cooperation.
Let me know now. I'm giving you the cooperation. I told you answer my question.
Well,
What is she under arrest for?
like I said, she's over the age of 18. Like, that we can't relinquish that information. Bring her out here, we'll tell you.
What is she under arrest
Bring her out here,
for?
we'll tell you right in front of you.
No, I'm not bringing her out here yet. Let me know what she's under
gonna
arrest
get
for.
arrested regardless, ma'am. I mean, I don't know why you're
For what? For what? For what?
Are you okay with telling me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Tell me.
Homicide. Open count of homicide. And tampering with evidence.
Tampering with evidence?
Yes.
At the hospital?
Yes.
So, can we see her now?
Give me a minute.
Okay.
I have a right to see a warrant. It doesn't matter if she's over the age of 18. This is my house. You have a right. You have to show me that warrant.
If we are searching her house,
Even if she's under arrest, you have to show me the
it's
warrant.
up to her to show us.
Sarah, this is Rose Rodriguez. Trevizo. Hey, I have the detectives here. They want to arrest my daughter. They're saying they have a warrant, but they can't show me a warrant for her arrest. Okay, thank you so much.
You good? When we get to there, I'll give you a copy. She gets her copy. And it's up to her.
Can I see the warrant?
It's an arrest warrant for her. It's
Okay,
not a
can I
search
see
warrant
the
for your
arrest warrant?
house.
I want to see the arrest warrant.
And what will that prove?
You bet when this is over, I'm coming for the police department and the hospital. I am.
Yes, ma'am.
Gary, this is Rosa.
And just as the mother said, since being arrested and released on bail, they have gone after the hospital, placing blame on them for what has happened. School friends have since made claims that she did indeed know she was pregnant and even had a name planned for the baby. Images of her in the months before it all happened clearly show her with a bump, and court documents show that she stopped taking the contraception pill and replaced it with diet pills. From video evidence we have all seen, we know she is guilty, but what we don't know is why she did what she did. Her lawyer says she did not kill the baby, yet the autopsy shows the baby had air in its lungs, and so it was determined that the baby suffocated. It will be interesting to see how they fight this in court, as I personally believe she has little chance of walking away free from what she did.